Is it a big yes for Princess? Let's find out in our Sky Princess review.
Welcome back to the channel.
Ready for another cruise? Let's go!
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Yes, you heard it correctly, we are now back from our Sky Princess cruise. We did a 4-night sailing a couple of weeks ago on board the wonderful Sky Princess, and in this video what I'm going to do is give you our review of that ship, our experience, and tell you a little bit about what we really liked and what we didn't like so much. But for that particular sailing, it was me and Oliver, and we had a balcony cabin. We were on there for 4 nights and we visited Rotterdam and Zeebrugge. So let's start now with some of the things we liked, and we'll start with the buffet area. Now, the first thing that I really liked about our Princess cruise were the food options on board, and in particular the buffet area. I was really pleasantly surprised from the get-go, from our first visit, just how good it was. There has such an extensive selection of different cuisine, food, hot and cold options. I was really blown away and surprised at just how good it was. Prior to Princess cruises, the best buffet that I'd say I'd seen would have been on Royal Caribbean, but Princess cruises was very close, if not a little bit better actually in terms of variety. They had everything from, you know, macaroni and cheese pots and a pasta station to, you know, a carvery section, salad, bread. They had you know, the usual kind of pizza section, and you know, I've never seen so much variety, in honest. Particularly for us and what have you, with me and Oliver, the kids selection was really good as well. They actually had this really good kind of kids section in the same spot every single day, really kind of clear and what have you, that it was a kids area. And in there you would find the usual stuff of, you know, chicken nuggets, fish fingers, pasta, you know, chips, all that kind of stuff that kids, you know they're going to love and enjoy. And that was just really handy, because that knew that, you know, regardless of what else they had around the buffet, I knew I could always get these kind of staples, if you like. And then in terms of everything else, there was always like a different kind of, you know, cuisine section, where one night it would be Indian, the next night it may be Asian, and they just kind of rotated through lots of lovely dishes. It was open for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and kind of had like a late night snack / period, and I was really surprised at how late actually it was open. One night me and Oliver went in there after kind of kids club at around 9:30, and they had a noodle station. You could order your noodles with this little ticket and they get brought to your table, and they'd, you know, really fresh, really tasty, and I was just very impressed with the selection. They had a lovely little area in the middle of the kind of buffet, which was kind of your little like pastry section. You could also get juices, teas and coffees here. Lots of other fresh kind of puddings and ice cream and all sorts of lovely little desserts and sweet treats. And again, just a fantastic addition to the buffet. The staff here are fantastic. You know, they clean away your tables really quick. They chat with you. They're fantastic with kids. And I just, in terms of the food quality and variety, really impressed. I could not falter it. Really big plus and positive for Princess Cruises. The food was fantastic. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and another really big one as well for Oliver, were the kids clubs. Now, I have to admit, prior to going on Princess Cruises, I was really sceptical about the kids clubs. The kind of ship and what have you didn't look super fun compared to the likes of maybe, you know, Carnival Celebration or one of the new Royal Caribbean ships. I knew that it had like pools on, and I knew it had a kids club, but I thought maybe in terms of other activities, you know, no mini golf or water park or anything like that, that Oliver may get a little bit bored. However, I'm pleased to say that I was totally wrong in that aspect, and the kids clubs were absolutely fantastic. They were really well themed, really well run, so many activities, and from the moment we visited I knew Oliver was going to be happy there, and he kept wanting to go back. They had a really cool climbing frame area, they had PS4s and Xboxes set up, they had like a crafts area, drawing, all sorts of different kind of bits and bobs running. And every single time I picked Oliver up from Kids Club, he'd have done something new or created something. One day it would be a new bracelet he's made or a necklace, the next day he would have done some drawing. I even picked him up one night as a fully dressed pirate with this face paint and hat, and he absolutely loved it. He was so happy, so excited. And each time I went there as well, the staff would be really enthusiastic in, you know, greeting him or, you know, telling me about his night, what he's got up to. And it was just, I was really impressed, and cannot thank Princess enough for a fantastic Kids Club experience. They really do a fantastic job on board Sky Princess. I was completely blown away and would 100% go on any Princess cruise now and feel confident that Oliver's going to have a really fantastic time, which is key for any holiday. If you've got kids and little ones, and particularly if you're on a ship where maybe there isn't enough kind of like water parks or anything like that, it's really important that you've got a kids club space where they can enjoy their time, and it was absolutely exceptional. I could not fault it. Now the third thing I really liked about Sky Princess, and it's quite a simple thing, but the pools and the hot tubs were all heated. Quite often, a lot of the time on some of these cruise ships, the pools aren't actually heated. So if you're sailing around Europe and the UK like we just did now, it can be quite cold and chilly, particularly on, you know, this time of year in kind of spring time. But actually on this ship as well, they were all heated, which is a very simple thing, but I really like that. And also again with little ones, it's just handy that, you know, they're a little bit warmer and what have you, not so worried much about the cold. So really handy kind of point there. The pools were a lovely temperature and the hot tubs as well, really, really lovely and warm. So it was just nice to be able to get in and then step out and know that you're not freezing cold as opposed to, you know, some of the ships that aren't heated. Quite often, a lot of the time they are, but they have done a few different cruises now where they're not. So really simple point, but I'm just glad that they were heated. Now my next point for Princess Cruises, and this is one that I was really intrigued to try as I knew that it was a big part of Princess and their current brand, and that is to do with the Medallion tech. Now as you can see, I've got my kind of medallion on my wrist now, my kind of gold one in terms of status. It's also got your name etched on there of the ship and date, which is quite cool. I've chose to have the wristband accessory, and Oliver had his on this little lanyard that you can see just here. But what I really liked about the Medallion was just how much you could do with it. Now I have actually filmed a separate video on the Medallion and what I really liked about it and disliked, and I'll leave a link down below in the description for that for you to go and watch and check out. But I just really enjoyed it. It was really useful, and it was just nice to be able to walk around the ship and not worry about having a cruise card. If I wanted to open the cabin door, you just had to walk up to it and it would be recognised by the band and the door would unlock, and then it was just a case of heading on in. Any bar or restaurant you were at, you were picked up and stuff by your Medallion, and then straight away, you know, you could order stuff to your you know, table, whatever it may be, and it would just get charged straight to your room. Again, lots of really kind of useful, little bit gimmicky features, but it worked really well from my experience. I was really impressed with it. The Wi-Fi wasn't bad, and the kind of in-app ordering, particularly for the room service as well, worked absolutely fantastic with no problems. So I was really impressed with it, and I definitely would look forward to enjoying it on other Princess cruises as well in the future. It just worked really, really well, and the kind of personalisation and stuff on the front with your name, what have you, it's just a nice little touch. Really think this is a good way of replacing the cruise card. So hopefully we do other Princess cruises in the future, and I look forward to seeing what it's like again on there as well. Now the next thing is a big part of your cruise, and that is entertainment. Again, going into Princess, I didn't really know too much about what kind of shows to expect, you know, the different kind of game shows or trivia or anything like that they were running, but I was very, very impressed from the get-go from the selection that they did have. We managed to watch a couple of shows in the theatre. Again, really, really good. The performers were excellent, the singing was fantastic, and it was just a really good atmosphere in the theatre as well. Everyone was enjoying it, enjoying the production and what have you, and that was lovely to see. And then moving outside of the theatre to the different venues and what have you, I really enjoyed the Princess Live area in particular. Fantastic bar, really, really open. Again, really good vibe. Everyone's, you know, relaxing, having a good time and what have you. And they had some fantastic things here as well. Me and Oliver did trivia one night, which was really nice and really enjoyable. But our favourite thing was this Can You Survive game show. Really, really kind of nice set. They get loads of teams together and they do these fun kind of tasks and what have you, answer these trivia questions. And me and Oliver managed to sit through that for the best part of an hour, hour and a quarter. And for a toddler and what have you to sit through something like that as well, just shows you how good it is. But we had an absolute blast. I love the entertainment, really, really good. Definitely recommend it. So the final thing I kind of wanted to mention, and again it's a really big part of your cruise obviously experience, is the staff on board. Now on our particular voyage, the staff were absolutely fantastic. They were really friendly, really welcoming, and no matter who I spoke to, they were willing to, you know, help you out, talk to you, share a bit about their experience, you know, offer you tips, advice, whatever it may be. I had chats with, you know, the people at security and stuff when I went to get off the ship. They were more than willing to help, you know, me with the little one or whatever it may be. They were just really, really friendly. Our steward was very polite, was really, you know, happy. He came and greeted us at our door, you know, asked us if we needed anything and said, you know, if I'm here, I'm available if you'd like, you know, an extra towels, whatever it may be. And the bar staff and the restaurant staff were all the same as well. And they were fantastic with Oliver. It's always great to see when you go on these cruises cruises, the staff engaging with the little ones, and the amount of times we would be sat at dinner and you'd have a staff member come over and say hello, or you know, high five, or whatever it may be. And again, that's just nice to see. It just means that you're all having a good time. They work so hard on board this ship, and I'm very thankful for them and the experience that they gave us. So the staff and what have you on board, fantastic. Really you know, amazed with them. Really fantastic. So I now want to talk a little bit about some of the dislikes that I had from our particular Princess cruise. Now do keep in mind that this is just my personal experience, my personal kind of preference and view, and of course obviously do take in mind that none of these would stop me from cruising Princess again. It was a fantastic ship, a great experience, I really did enjoy it, and I know Oliver did. These are just a couple of minor things that if they could be changed, or if there was a different ship that, and you know, these were changed, they would make it even better. But going into the first one then, that's actually to do with lifeguards. Now I noticed in the particular pools that we had, there were actually no lifeguards, which was a little bit surprising, as quite often a lot of time on these cruise ships you'll have 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe around the large pools, and again it's just extra security, extra safety and what have you. I'm always under the belief anyway that you keep an eye on your little one. I've never you know, left a little one alone in the pool, whatever it may be. It's not that, you know, their responsibility, it's still yours as a parent. But having said that, it's just handy to know that there is additional, you know, people there in the event that something happens to me, or you know, whatever it may be. So it's just nice, I think, to have the lifeguards there. I couldn't see any on this particular cruise. It's not a big deal. There's lots of people around, and obviously you're looking after your little one anyway. But just the thing I've kind of noted, that no lifeguards, personal preference maybe. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'd be very curious to see them down below. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is just something I noticed, a couple of observations, which isn't my personal preference, but I thought I'd throw it in the video anyway. And that is, it seemed to be quite a kind of gambling focused, I say ship, there was a lot of gambling opportunities on it. For example, by your cabin door with the Ocean Medallion, you could sign up to the kind of Princess prizes thing, and every time you opened your door you had a chance of winning a prize. Not saying that's kind of my personal preference, but you know, if you're into that kind of thing, it was on there. There was also kind of stuff on the TV talking about gambling, as well as more information about the kind of you know, Princess prizes thing. You also had kind of like bits in the app as well, where I noticed you could like bet on like live football that day. So there was a Premier League game playing, and you could bet on that if you wanted to. And it's just something I hadn't seen before. We've done the likes of Carnival and Royal Caribbean. Maybe they do that. I'm not 100% sure. If you could tell me that in the comments below, I'd be really interested in hearing you know, whether you've seen it before or not. But on this particular kind of app and what have you, you could kind of bet on various different sports games. That's then alongside, you know, the casino, bingo and all that kind of stuff that they run as well. So it's not kind of the end of the world. I just kind of thought it's a little bit surprising, what have you. I obviously know that Princess is owned by Carnival and the Carnival group, so you know, you've got quite an American kind of brand, and gambling's quite big over there. But my kind of personal preference would be to kind of not have stuff like that by the door or on the TV. Obviously if you want to gamble and stuff like that, that's completely fine. Obviously no one's forcing you to, but it's just kind of an interesting point that I noticed, that there is kind of like quite a lot of opportunity to gamble on board. Again, doesn't really change my opinion of the ship or anything, but just something I thought I'd notice and note in the video for you, in case maybe that's something that you're, you know, not into or kind of against. But you know, I'll leave it to your kind of thoughts and opinions. But that kind of brings me now onto my next point, which is regarding the service. All the waiters and stuff were absolutely fantastic, really polite, and they were kept quite busy. There were a couple of occasions where the service was a little bit slow, however. One particular example where it took us maybe, I think, about half an hour to kind of get our order taken, and then another 15 minutes or so for the drink. I also know from the Facebook groups that there were a lot of people complaining that, you know, their orders were taking anywhere from an hour plus, particularly if you use the app. I don't know if that's, you know, an app thing, a Wi-Fi thing, or just sheer kind of number of passengers on board. But for our particular cruise, I didn't have too many issues. I had one instance where the drink took a little bit longer than usual, but I was more than happy to wait because we were sat in the bar watching a trivia session anyway. But I know a lot of people on Facebook were having issues with Ocean Medallion, and again, that seems to be kind of a recurring theme. A lot of the time I have heard very mixed opinions about it from, you know, Sky Princess, Regal and other ships and what have you. But again, I'd be really interested to know your thoughts. If you've done Sky Princess recently, or any other cruise ship with Ocean Medallion, have you had any good experiences? What kind of like the ordering like? Be really interested to hear, so leave a comment down below and I'd love to read through those. But yeah, not the end of the world, little minute things, but again, mentioning in the video for you. The ship itself was absolutely fantastic. It's not kind of super fun when you first look at it, in terms of, you know, there's no roller coaster on the back, and there's no, you know, giant water park, slides, anything like that. That's not to say it's a boring ship, because it's not. There are lots of really lovely, pretty areas. It's a very beautiful ship. But again, it's kind of personal preference and stuff. We've done Carnival Celebration before, and a couple of other Royal Caribbean ships, MSC Seashore as well. Again, they've got these really kind of extravagant water park areas and stuff, the roller coaster, mini golf and what have you, which are really, really fantastic areas for little ones. So I'll be really intrigued to see what Princess's new ship, Sun Princess, is like, and what they kind of bring to the ship in terms of, you know, water features and stuff like that. Again, Sky Princess is a fantastic ship, really, really lovely. I would like to have like a water park area or a splash area for the little ones, but I'm not gonna, like, you know, for the type of ship and the type of cruise that we were on and doing, I think the kind of pool areas are perfectly ample, and they're heated as well, and they're really, really good depth as well, which is what I really liked. You know, the fact that you can walk into the pool and stand up rather than, you know, have to worry that it's too deep for me, let alone a little one, was a really nice bonus. But that's kind of only one of the kind of things I've noted. And then the final kind of point that I've got as well was just regarding the actual drinks menus themselves. Now, I didn't drink massively on board the ship. I did have a look at a couple of the different bar venues to see what they had, and it wasn't the most extensive drinks menu I've seen in the world. We've just done an MSC Virtuosa as well last week for the Cruise Monkeys cruise. Fantastic cruise that was, and MSC do a really good job of having a huge array of drinks, both frozen, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, soft drink, all that kind of stuff, you know. Really, really huge menu. The menu on Princess didn't seem massive, so maybe if you kind of cruise quite a lot, you might find that actually you're not having as much variety as other cruise lines, but you will always have your favourites, you know, mojitos and strawberry daiquiri, that kind of stuff. So that's my only kind of point to note. Again, it's not a big deal. You've always got your fan favourites, you've got wine, you've got beers and stuff. It's just kind of a point to note in the video. I mean, that then kind of leads to my final point then, which is my overall experience, and that really is a fantastic cruise ship and a cruise line as well. I was really impressed, really surprised and stuff by the kind of things they offered. The food was fantastic, both in the buffet and the main dining room. The service was excellent overall. The entertainment fantastic, and it pleasantly surprised me. With little ones, I was expecting it to be maybe not the best ship in the world or the best cruise line in the world. I felt like it was going to be more as like a couple cruise line, you know, maybe kind of older, you know, family, something like that. But actually I was very pleasantly surprised at just how well you know, the cruise line did with kids and little ones in terms of activities and kids clubs. And right now I would have absolutely no problem booking another cruise on Princess, and we'll be looking as well in the future to get on board again as well. Fantastic ship, fantastic crew, really, really loved the experience. Again, food fantastic, entertainment stuff, all really, really good. So I'd be very interested to hear your opinions. If you've cruised Princess before, if you've cruised Sky Princess in particular as well, leave a comment down below, because I'd love to hear your opinions on it. But that's just a quick summary and stuff of our Sky Princess experience. Really, really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next time and the next cruise as well. But that's going to be all for this video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like on the video and a comment. Love to read them as well. And we will see you in the next video. Many thanks for watching.
Welcome back to the channel.
Ready for another cruise? Let's go!